I mean? Know what I mean? Nudge, nudge, say no more. A nod as
Are
good
we
as a
putting
wink
it-
to a blind bat, eh?
Hello, hello.
Well, that's at the front.
This is what you're missing, Lana. Right here.
Public access. Okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
What? I'm allowed to say
1,
ass.
2, 3. You're out.
Here we are back
Okay.
for another great episode of Film Speak, infecting each one of you with our love of film. It's gonna hurt a bit. I'm your host, Joanna.
And I am Bill. This week is no exception as we will be talking about the action classic, The Matrix.
Let us not get too far ahead of ourselves. At first, we were... God, why can't I say that? Okay, do it again. Let us not get too far ahead of ourselves, as first we will be talking to local filmmakers Greg Kennedy and Nathaniel Grauwelman. They will share their collective knowledge as we talk about the challenges of local filmmaking.
Then we will talk about the film The Matrix and the way it changed the impact of the film, changed and impacted the film industry. I'm totally Joanning it.
I infected
Then we will
you.
talk about the film The Matrix and the way it changed the film industry. This is a great film and changed forever how I looked at Keanu Reeves. He was a big part of my youth with classic films like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, River's Edge, Dangerous Liaisons, and My Own Private Idaho. But with The Matrix, he achieved a level of cool I would have thought otherwise beyond him.
Bruh, I can't believe you left out Point Break.
Oh, I knew I was forgetting one.
Be careful or we will have to replace you. You didn't mention Bogus Journey either.
It was okay.
Did you hear that Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter are, where did it go? I lost my lines.
That's okay, just say, working on another sequel.
They're working on another sequel.
Oh, wow, I did not know that.
Ah.
That would be pretty cool. Might be a complete suckfest.
We are so much more
Whoa,
together,
whoa.
but right now we are not. I apologize. Why? We're so off today. I'm blaming Lana. Everything today is Lana's fault.
It's all Lana's
This
fault.
is all Lana's fault.
Anyways, I think it would be great if we managed to be able to go back, visit the characters from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and see what they're doing now.
Excellent.
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 But until then, please join us as we will be talking to our guest in the chairs.
You're not going to use this, are you?
What?
For
Yes,
the
you bet
actual
your ass.
intro.
What's their names? Did we already say them? Greg and Nathan. Nathaniel. Nathan. Nathaniel.
Your mom.
Whatever. Your mom.
For the 12 viewers we have, please join us with our guests Nathaniel Grauwelman and Greg Kennedy as we talk about their work and The Matrix.
And the Matrix.
Hold me.
Whoa!
Hold me. How am I supposed to dodge bullets?
Cut!
Cut! Fuck it. We're using that because...
What's the gun for?
Just in case.
Just in case. You said there was nobody in the house. Why would we need a gun?
Hey, it's just a precaution. Here, you take it. Here. Not a big deal. Here.
What's this?
If there's anybody in there, give them a little bit of this.
Put in their drink or something?
No, you moron. You take a little bit of it, you put it in your hand like this, you take your other arm, you get it around their neck, then you put this over their nose and mouth. And that's it.
And then what happens?
Well, then they're our slave.
We took care of your cold symptoms. You take him on an adventure. Has been the #1 doctor-recommended brand of pain reliever for over 20 years. For everything we do, we know you.
Bailey?
Much more.
Are you here?
Paying no opening fee would help my family greatly. Free layaway to me is like a piggy bank. I could do that. I can afford free.
And horrible news for our local community. 2 nights ago, Cassie Powell, a 21-year-old from Waynesville, Ohio, was kidnapped from her home. There are no leads at this point, but if you have any information of her whereabouts...
Keys! We can't. Bailey, we can't. Bailey.
Get in!
Bailey.
At this point, but if you have any information of her whereabouts, contact the police for the solving of this crime.
Where are we?
Oh, we're just meeting a few friends out here. Well, actually, I need your help. If you go down that road, about 100 yards, on your right, there's going to be a log. Now, when you see that, just stay there. And if you see anybody coming, just let us know. Okay?
Okay.
Pretty amazing, right?
can't kill her.
We have to get rid of her.
Get rid of her?
She saw my face.
The drug, you said that it would make her forget, right?
Yeah, but it was a small dose. She's eventually gonna remember and have the police looking for me. And if they find me, they're gonna find you.
They're not gonna find either of us.
What are you doing?
We're not gonna kill anybody.
Do you want to go to jail? I mean, we broke and entered. I mean, we stole from them. We kidnapped a girl. The last time that I checked, judges and juries aren't too easy on criminals like you and me.
Thank you so much.
So, what are you doing all the way out here?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Welcome back to Film Speak. I'm sitting here with my lovely co-host for today, Joanna. And we're sitting here talking with Greg and Nathaniel about movies and what they have going on right now locally with the film industry and what they think of what's going on with the film industry. So how are you guys doing today?
Great.
Good. Thanks
How
for
are you
having us.
guys? Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, doing pretty good. Always good to be on Film Speak. Now, I guess we'll start with you, Greg, since you're closest to me, and I can probably reach you to hit you if I have to. What have you got going on lately?
Well, other than taking Lyrium right now and kind of entering into local festivals like the Film Dayton Festival, which will be coming up, I think we're trying to get into the Columbus one, Cincinnati. Some of the local ones are there, but I'm trying to work with another production company in Dayton to produce a web series. So that's kind of down the work, pipeline. So just little things, but it's always trying to figure out time on the side to do your passion, which is filmmaking, and then try to make money with, doing a side job where I just do other things on the side.
As much as you can. To make
As much as I
money.
can, and I usually take that money and put it right back into a film. So pretty much what I made from my job, I put into Lyrium, which this guy was in as well. So.
Well, yeah, that's kind of like the new thing now with production houses is you got to have a web series. When you get started, you want to get noticed because it's like the business card for film nowadays. You want to be able to say, yeah, take a look at me, this is what we can do.
Well, it's fun, I think, with just the media outlets now with YouTube. You can have people, if you have something, and you can have people go back up and see it when they're at their convenience.
Yeah.
That's what's really nice. And there's also different ways of, I think people try to put like ads in between, not at the beginning, because you have those that YouTube sets up, but I think people are even starting to put ads in between.
Yeah.
And I think with what we're trying to do with the web series that we're producing called We're Here Now, we're going to emphasize that it takes place in Dayton. We're trying to get local filmmakers, local actors and actresses, and really we're going to also try to promote businesses. So we're going around and say, hey, if we film here, we're going to highlight you. Are you okay with us putting your name in there? We might even do like a 30-second advert, commercial for
So
you
it's like
guys and put it.
sponsorship.
Yeah.
Like finding
Well, we
Nice.
we
That's-
love.
yeah.
Dayton has such a great artistic vibe, and a lot of people that it's like hidden. So it's like we try to get them to
Yeah.
come out, and with Film Dayton and Film Speak with what you guys have, the networking aspect is really fun because you do every new project you work on, you find somebody like, you've been in Dayton? Why haven't I known you?
Well, it's tough being in between Cincinnati and Columbus, two bigger cities.
Yeah.
And we're kind of like that small little gem, the gem city.
Gem City.
The gem
And
city.
see, we need to compete with that because I think a lot of people
Yes.
think they have to go to Cincinnati or Columbus
And
or
no.
Cleveland. You're like, no, let's do stuff
Exactly.
here. So.
Well, if you drive around Dayton, there's a lot of areas. You can go over that first block across the river on 3rd Street, and you're in 1930s. The architecture, the original buildings still standing there. Drive across town, and there you are in a major metropolis.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, as a filmmaker, you have rural farm areas. I mean,
Location.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I was
always
just
said,
out
you've
last
got it.
weekend doing location scouting in Oregon District, and some of those houses are beautiful.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they
And
are.
I'm like, wow, it's like so much can be done here. You just have to find a way to get people to know that and see that.
Yeah.
We can be just as good as Cincinnati and Columbus and Cleveland, so
We've got a lot of people that have passion.
yes.
It's just obviously the worst part about filmmaking is you do a lot of times need funding of some sort, or at least
Exactly.
a collective, a group of people that have equipment. You go, you got this light, I got this camera, and you can do this, I can do this.
Can we
let's
be
mash it together."
friends?
yeah, no doubt.
And then you work together, and you might, hey, that might not have worked out, but hey, it was
Yeah.
fun. At least
Yeah.
it's a memory.
It's a
and we
learning
can-
experience.
We can chalk it up and say we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Absolutely. Now, he was speaking of the web series. Perhaps, Nathaniel, you'd like to touch a little bit on what your upcoming web series is going to be about?
Oh, I'm actually not.
A part of
Not
that?
yet.
I'm
we
hoping.
talked about it.
Oh,
I'm hoping. I slipped him 100 before we
Yeah.
started.
And he looks like
It's
David Duchovny, so I mean, come on.
Well-
He's got it, yeah.
You knew that was going to come up.
You knew it was
I'm
going to
sorry.
come up. We had
Bringing
to
it up.
so early.
Bringing
but,
it up.
Well,
maybe it'll help me.
That's
David,
okay, but
David,
my favorite
you need to
X-Files
stand
episode,
in.
just to let
Double.
you know, my favorite X-Files episode is Henry Bruckman Repos with Peter Boyle.
Actually, that episode,
Are you in that?
yeah, David called me up and he said, "Hey man, I have this episode that I know is going to be really great, but I can't make it."
Could you be that for me?
Yeah.
That's why it was my favorite episode then, the whole time.
Yeah.
Makes so much sense. It's like my life just makes sense now.
I know, because we have a web series planned that we're trying to get underway and film this summer too. And it's kind of funny hearing you talk about your ideas and reasoning behind doing a web series is the same ideas that we had, that we wanted to highlight Dayton. We wanted to feature local actors and get local participants and just to show what a great community that we have in the area.
Just get stuff going.
Yeah, get the
Yeah,
ball
'Cause
rolling.
Yeah.
The more you do, the better you become. The practice and hands-on doing so. But yeah.
Yes.
But this
yes.
guy's got a lot going on, I know. But
What
you're kind of
what do you have
Yes.
going on?
Put me on the spot.
I was
thinking.
You just had a recent audition, right?
That's actually right after this.
Oh my goodness.
For the
That's awesome.
feature.
Yeah, Hollywood features.
Yeah. So it's a speaking part, which is kind of cool.
Yay.
So
Nice. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Awesome.
And I was an extra in Carol. That was a lot of fun.
Excellent.
Everybody getting a dress, like all dapper, and just felt like I was. I don't know. I always kind of felt like I was in the wrong time. Do you know what I mean? Like either the 20s or the 50s or the 1800s, but never like 2014.
That was the Kate Blanchett film.
Yeah, it was.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have another friend who was working on that.
Oh, really?
Tommy Stamper.
Nice.
Okay, yeah.
He's actually the one who, tying back to web series we were talking about, he's actually cast as her brother in that.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, I was totally jealous because I'm a huge Kate Blanchett fan.
There was
I heard the story. I was like, tell the story.
yeah, the story. The
Tell
story.
us, please.
Yeah.
So,
You got
my position 1 was on some stairs, right? And Kate Blanchett and Rooney Mara's position 1 was on the same set of stairs, just up a little bit. So Kate Blanchett's rear was right there, and the director had them wear, proper attire. Everybody had to wear proper attire, including undergarments and things. So I guess it was having some bunching. So she was having these 2 people kind of fix it.
Smoothing her butt.
And I was, like, yeah, I'm just gonna turn this direction, trying it, Rooney Mara, she's nice. They didn't really talk to us, but they look nice.
It's always nice.
But she kept, I don't know if I had something on my face, but she kept, she'd look at me, and then, when I would look, kind of smile, hey, I acknowledge you're looking, she would just look away. It happened, 3 or 4 times. And I was kind of what is wrong with me? Do I?
Duchovny. That's
Yeah,
what it
no,
was. She's probably like,
she was probably
what,
what,
is that David
Duchovny
Duchovny?
is an extra?
Yeah, I was
Can
like,
I
what?
ask him for a picture?
I was just I just ate, so did I have
hey,
something
can I
on my
get a
face? Is my hair messed up?
It's always the
And-
booger. People are always like, right?
Yes, should I tell him that she was really just trying to go, he got something on your face?
I love her as an actress, but there's a level of cool because she did Hot Fuzz.
Oh yeah.
The Simon Pegg,
Yeah.
Edgar Wright,
They've got the
That's true.
Cornetto trilogy.
They have another
She
one coming out?
she did. It's not even. She's not even listed in the credits. No. She's Janine in the beginning.
She just wanted to have fun and be.
Yeah, she just wanted to have fun. She
I
just
love
seemed to
people
just do a little cameo appearance. You can't even tell it's her because her face is. You only see her eyes. Everything else is covered, but it's still
I
just
like
beautiful.
the dragon tattoo. I mean, with that, what she did.
Yeah.
See,
We
I
can
I
probably talk
the-
about
the
her
s-
forever,
the-
but
I like the other version, the Swedish version
Kate.
better. But
Yeah, but-
anyways, okay, back to you guys and Lyrium.
Lyrium,
Yes.
You wrote and directed it, right?
Wrote and directed it, yes.
And produced it with
Yes.
your with
With
Trinity
what-
Film
yeah.
Group, your company, and then you starred in it.
I did.
And we're actually going to show it, and I got to watch it when you guys first, brought it out, and it was awesome.
Well, thank
it
you.
was
That's
just
great.
it was just 13 minutes of, wow. I mean, from start to finish, it was so intense. So tell us a little bit about that. Because I'm just so interested, because you guys filmed at night, and I'm like, everything just looks so beautiful.
Oh, that was probably the most fun, other than the field. I had to go out weeks in advance to kind of prep that field, especially for equipment. So I had to cut paths, and people thought I took a trimmer. I did it by hand.
Yeah.
Oh my
I did everything with a clipper. It took forever.
He's like,
I know. Yes, I think we were filming the very first day. We were filming the scene where they're getting all the stuff out of the trunk, which was probably one of the most difficult scenes for props wise, because continuity. And they were just we start off with the hardest thing, but he was looking at me because I think I was moving stuff, and he's like, "So, what do you do to work out?" And I was like, "You cut down fields." But I
Make
had
a film and you cut a lot of grass. That's
But I cut it because I was like, I know for my gaffer, Tyler and Cody, to set up lights in this field. I was like, we obviously had a generator running, which is probably the worst part of the film, was trying to cover that up, which the composer, Alex, did a fantastic job. Because there's a lot of scenes where I can hear it, but he did music below it. But the field was both, it's one of those that sometimes when you're getting ready to film something, it's torturous during the process. Because we were out there in the middle of summer. It was about this time last year, almost exactly a year from now, or from today. And we're out there, it's hot, there's bugs. I doused the field with tick repellent to kind of
Thank you
kill
for
it.
that, by the way. All of us were like,
I
okay,
think about
my
my
gosh.
actors. I always
Not-
try to figure out, like,
Wow.
okay, if these people are going to work with me again, obviously they're all working for free. So I'm like, what can I do to make
I
them
don't want
happy?
them to get Lyme
and-
disease.
Yeah.
Feed
But,
them and then, yeah, no ticks.
But to me,
That's
a
awesome.
lot of those times, I'm like, yes, it's torturous during the time, but it always looks so good when it gets on film.
I mean, that was the first thing that stuck out to me was that opening scene of the field, and I'm like, wow, that's an awesome location. Like, and then it's shot at night, and I'm like, I'm thinking, how many people are there, like doing lighting and all this? And to the untrained ear, I didn't even notice the generator. But now when you bring it up, it's like, well, duh, they're filming at night. They need a generator, you know, out in the field.
Well, I never make it easier for my sound engineer, David, who's from Cincinnati. He always comes up, and I always throw him in like the worst, like, it's just him, and he's always like, I'll make do.
Yeah.
You know, he does a great job. So, and you know, with filmmaking, 50% of it's sound. So if you have horrible sound, you know, and we only have one person, and it was just a shotgun mic. We weren't fortunate enough, but you make do with what you have.
Yeah.
ADR if you have to.
We did, I actually did, but
Yeah.
afterwards when I was listening to ADR and what they had, that's why I said to the sound composer, I was like, if you can cover this up where I can use the real takes, I would prefer to do that because you're getting the emphasis, and to me I just like,
You're getting the in the moment
Yeah.
kind of emotion.
and I like that more than ADR.
Oh,
but-
definitely.
See, I would
Definitely.
rather have that, but like one of our short films coming out, we have a big ending at Huffman Dam.
Okay.
And I mean, great action sequence, visually beautiful, but because of the cars in the water,
You got it.
they lost a lot of lines. So our sound man, Rusty, had recorded this great clean sound of the water rushing, just pointed the mic straight into there, so when we ADR, we'll at least be able to trace that underneath.
Yeah, that works.
But yeah, I mean, because
Room tone is always important. You know.
Yeah.
well, I would rather have had it nailed on the spot, you know. But
Yeah.
you got to be able to have the people hear the lines and
Well,
stuff.
Hollywood, you think with most of the time, like more than 50% of what they do for film is ADR.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Like you have professional equipment and people, and you're still. That's, I guess, the.
I wonder
way
if
they
that's
do.
just like the easiest way. Just
Well,
fix it in post.
Yeah, if you're out and you're recording in New York City, because what you're not seeing is the 50,000 people standing behind yellow tape screaming, Will Smith!
And he's got to block that out.
And he's got to block all that out. And they can't have that in sound, so.
Yeah.
So I'm interested for your character. I noticed such an arc because you kind of started off being a little bit, and then by the end it was like, holy, like he grew some cojones by the end. Am I allowed to say balls?
You can say balls.
Can I say balls? He grew some balls. So how did you get yourself into that? Because I mean, in the 13 minutes of Lyrium, I could notice your character arc. So how,
That's good.
you know,
No, I told you
it
that.
is,
No.
yes.
No, it's good
writing.
acting.
So yes, no, it
both.
is. How do you prepare for something like that?
Okay, well, with Jeremy, he probably thought I was just kind of weird. I tried to hang around him as much as I could when we were offset, and I was sort of, I've had a lot of friends that were kind of like older brother types, so I would sort of project them onto Jeremy when I could. You know, he was probably just like, why is this guy hanging around me? But I was like,
It was
you
like
know,
a little brother effect then.
yeah,
like-
so I was kind of getting into that, and then just sort of distancing it. Greg's a great director as far as just in general, but you know, actor director. You know, you get some directors who are just like, we're gonna shoot it and that's it. And then if you get if your acting is there, they just whatever. But they're like, are you prepped? Are you ready? You ready to go? And then when you do it, like, were you happy with that? Like, you know, not too much because then we'd be there all night. Like, no, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's, you know. But you know, so there was he was good about that. And then sort of working up, you know. So first it was just more of like, anything Jeremy says is right, and I'm just gonna go with it. And then I'm gonna be like kind of a scared puppy, sort of. Sure, I'll just follow you. But then I started to kind of interject my own. You know, when we were digging, it was really, you know, at the night shot when we were digging the grave, I was actually like mentally like, we're gonna kill this girl, we're gonna kill this girl, we're gonna kill this girl, we're gonna kill it. And eventually it was like, this is not a good idea. We cannot kill this person. And then it just kind of went from there, you know, with the, I don't know, it helped. So.
It's just fun. I think with Lyrium and a lot of the independent shorts you get, most of the time I think is the collaborative effort. We were talking about working together. You're all there for the same focus. And we had a lot of people, not just myself, but helping, but like the DP would, you know, give input of like, you know, just little things like that. And I think Jeremy and Nathaniel, since they were both together working, they really did a great job of feeding us off it. And we did interviews where
character chemistry or like
Yeah.
character chemistry. I love that. Yeah, yeah.
and he actually remembers talking about how you would follow him around. He was trying to avoid you because of his character. So it was kind of offset. They'd be doing the same thing they were doing on set. So.
We're going to wrap it up here. Real quick, give a quick shout out to how people can find your production company and keep up with you and everything. Just so they can be able to know. And we'll move to the next segment. And thank you guys for coming on and sharing
Thank
your
you, guys.
experience and your projects and
Thanks
stuff.
for having us.
But really quick, tell everybody.
I'll go first. Which am I looking at a specific camera? This one? Okay, sorry. Yeah. The Trinity Film Group. You can either find thetrinityfilmgroup.com or Facebook. I think is the best way for social media nowadays. We are always updating on that. So, yeah. And then Greg and yeah.
And you, sir?
It's NathanielGrauwelman.com. I know that's a mouthful. They'll probably have spelled out for you. You can just
It'll
copy
be in
and
the
paste.
credits.
Yeah, right.
Try Googling.
And then I have a Facebook as well. I'm always connecting with local artists. Like, somebody, if they friend me, like, I don't know them, but it says they're an actor, so okay, we're friends now.
Oh, too trusting.
Thank you guys very much, and we'll be back here in just a couple of minutes to break down the classic movie, The Matrix. I think I'm going to take the blue pill. Ignorance is bliss. And that's the
That
first
was
segment. Hey, Mark. Have you ever had those times when you feel, I don't know, less than fresh?
What do you mean?
Well, just some of those times when you feel just less than fresh. Down there?
Well, what do you mean?
You just feel just not so fresh, Down there?
Oh no. Well, God, no.
I can't handle this anymore. I can't handle the silence.
It's gonna be okay. Oh my God, there's more of them! The only thing that offends me is when people get offended. Excuse me, I was wondering if you could help me. When's the last train to Wapakoneta?
Well, that depends.
Depends on what?
Depends on how fast you can run. Train left 5 minutes ago.
Oh God!
What about the internet?
That was done by aliens.
Well, what about Stonehenge?
That too was done by aliens.
What about the pyramids?
That also, believe it or not, was done by aliens.
What about Swiss cheese?
Hard to believe, but that too, done by aliens. That's right, all of that was done by aliens. You wouldn't believe all the things that are done by aliens. That's why you've got to read my book, That Was Aliens. And after you read my book, That Was Aliens, you have to read my book, Everything Else Was Aliens Too. You just won't believe it. It was all aliens. Welcome back to Film Speak. We're sitting here talking with Greg and Nathaniel. I'm about to get started on breaking down The Matrix, a classic 1990s movie that kind of changed, I think, action films, at least in America. I think they had already changed a lot of places worldwide, and America was just kind of slow on that. But love The Matrix. We'll start with you, Greg.
I've never seen it, actually.
You've never seen The Matrix?
So that's why I was like, do I need to rewatch it? Because I know I've seen it enough. But no, what you were saying about the action is definitely, it always makes me think of watching it behind the scenes when they do the first attempt that Neo or Keanu Reeves, his character has to like try to dodge bullets, and he's doing that whole part. And they show the green screen and how they're breaking down the camera movement. And that, I think that's always like, I think the visual effects for the way you shoot action was really pushed.
Oh.
You know,
the 360 camera thing, where they did the stop motion photography and they had all the cameras set around. It would just go.
Yeah, and that's the scene.
Oh God!
And that's what really pushed it. I think just seeing that, you're like, God, that's so cool.
I think it's amazing that the bullets were just simply done as hanging from strings.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how they would move them. They had, like, the bullet would be here between two strings, and then they would take it and twist it and bring it across the room, taking stop motion photography, getting it at every single point.
Oh, wow.
But it's one of those that's like,
amazing.
What can you do on, you know, because I think you have a lot of directors and people in Hollywood, they're like, the ones that were like, let's just CGI, you know, let's just do everything in post. And there's other ones like, I want to see it in the camera, because there's a difference. But now I think nowadays, at least from then, was it 99 to now, obviously, the improvement in technology and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that really, the action scenes were awesome.
I think even with the improvements in technology, CGI, because I love CGI effects, if used properly. You know, my favorite example is the Lord of the Rings movies. You know, combining of great script, acting, and CGI.
And the green screen,
But I think that the mind knows. You can't get past, in your subconscious, when you watch a building blow up in a movie, you know if they really blew a hospital up like they did in Dark Knight, or if it's like Machete Kills and it's just a digital explosion. You know, your mind can tell, no matter how good the CGI looks, your mind still knows that is a two-dimensional image. There is not physical space that is moving there.
As long as the filmmakers have done their job of the suspension of disbelief. If you are so enthralled, then you're not going to think about it. But if you're sitting back and you're not enjoying the story, and then you see and you're like, oh, that's obviously,
Yeah.
Totally agree. Yeah, I find one of the things I found amazing as a filmmaker thinking about doing this, because what a ballsy move is, they went to Warner Brothers, said, you know, this is our movie, we want to do this, we need an $80 million budget. And Warner Brothers said, no, we're not going to invest $80 million in this, we'll give you $10 million to make this movie. They took $10 million, made the first 10 minutes, went back and said, here's the first 10 minutes. And they didn't know if it was going to work. You know, it could have all went bust. But after the executives saw the first 10 minutes, they ponied up the rest of the money.
Wow. That's awesome.
Isn't that ballsy?
Cool. That's why I like short films.
Yeah.
They're so good for pitching the original, you know, feature concept.
It is sometimes hard though. Like if you have an idea in your head and you're trying to, like, you know, words can only express so much. Yeah. Especially visual, especially something like Matrix, when you have this new world that they're bringing. You know, it's like you are putting the pills out in front of them. Like, okay, this is the pill I want you to take. You're probably gonna take this one.
This is 80 million, and let's take the 80. Yeah.
But it's insane, and it did. And one thing though is, even when The Matrix came out, see, I was already hooked into John Woo Hong Kong movies. The Killers, Hard Boiled, A Better Tomorrow. You know, so I was already used to guys running around with 245s in their hands. You know, The Matrix was the first American movie I remember seeing that. You know, where the heroes were all running around doing this. You know, because before
and running, and then actually
running,
shooting,
jumping and firing,
5 feet off. Like, man, I gotta like take my time. No.
Well, I never saw those in action films before the early '90s John Woo films. John Woo, you know, with Chow Yun-fat and stuff, and then when it hit in The Matrix, after The Matrix, every movie, every action hero, everybody's running around with 2 pistols. Shooting it up and stuff, which is great.
Artists steal from other artists.
Yeah, that is true. I think Martin Scorsese said it best, you know, is find out what works and steal it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them, I mean, Tarantino's, he says that all the time.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I saw it in this and I loved it. He's like, I was going to put my touch on it now, so it's just...
Well, you know, I watched Kill Bill, and I watched that, for me as a film dork, that is a tour de force movie, you know, because it'll move through, okay, this is a Hitchcock scene, here's a little Kurosawa, this is a little Hong Kong Express from 1970s, you know, I mean, just
He's taking his just film knowledge and putting it to
Yeah. Well, it worked.
Which is
because
beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Those movies are amazing. Yeah.
I have to admit that I do that. I'm quite guilty of it.
Seeing a Tarantino movie can get people to then watch the influenced movies. I think that's
That's one of the
That's
most
true,
important things.
Yeah.
Because I tell you, from watching Quentin Tarantino, I went to go find the movies that he watched. Switchblade Sisters. Well, one of his favorite movies I find is one of our favorite movies, which is The Wrath of Khan.
We're talking about that next. We're going to talk about that next month, and I'm wearing Spock ears.
See what the Matrix
Watch
gets you
it.
just inspired by other films.
Coming back around.
That's just
Yes.
film. That's just film speak in general. So.
God. All right, back to the Matrix. Wait, it came out in '99. I think I was.
98, 99?
Yeah.
I think I was in 8th grade or freshman year of
Makes
high
me feel
school.
so frickin'
I know. But I remember when it came out. I went and saw it with some friends, and we're such dorks. We play basketball, and we'd throw the ball at each other, and then try and do the. Yeah, I didn't have a boyfriend for quite a while in high school because that moved quite, it was like.
That didn't get him on. They're like.
No,
that move.
they weren't like
Let's
Neo.
go.
They were like, I don't know about that one. No, but that's my memory of the Matrix is trying to do that move in basketball when we should be, practicing. We were just trying to perform the bullet move. So.
I remember when it came out in the theaters, I didn't bother. Well, one, because I was a father of 2 small kids. When you have 2 toddlers, you don't do anything. No life whatsoever. So I saw it when it came on video. And when it came out on video and watched that, I was just blown away.
VHS, DVD. That's probably
Yeah,
still
VHS, DVD, and it's still in my garage.
Yeah.
The same VHS is still down there.
What's interesting is you said they filmed part of it in Australia because it was
Most
cheaper.
of it was on Australia.
American-Australian movie.
They
that makes sense.
They spent $60 million to make it in Australia, and it would have cost them around $180 million to make it in Hollywood. So they took their money.
That's the difference.
And that was the first movie filmed in the brand new Warner Brothers Australian studio.
Wow.
They had just opened it up, so that was the first movie filmed there. And another interesting thing is they had to, because the helicopter scene, when the helicopter comes flying through, Australia had they had a no-fly law for helicopters. And so they had to actually change the law to get the Matrix made. Yeah, to get the Matrix made there.
I want to make a movie that changes laws.
I tell you, you want some respect for Keanu Reeves? The beginning, when Morpheus is talking to Neo and taking him through, and he steps out onto the ledge, he really did that.
I'm afraid of heights. I'd be like, okay.
Wow, I didn't know that.
34 stories up, no stuntman, nothing.
I actually probably had some kind of rig just in
Wow.
case, because I mean that wind part when it takes the phone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but he did
would
it
definitely
himself, which is
good.
major kudos.
I'm
Yeah, I
literally
give that
blown
credit.
away by that. No pun intended.
Another thing that's kind of interesting is, in the first half of the movie, he has 80 lines, Keanu Reeves does. Just 80 lines in the first
Wow.
half of the film. 44 of those are questions.
They are. Yeah.
That's pretty much
Answered by a question as well. He
Answered
asks
by a
a question,
question.
Morpheus is always back.
Yeah.
Are you breathing?
and
I'd be
even
like, come on, man.
Should I be?
his little speech at the end of the movie is the first time he speaks more than 3 sentences at once.
But Keanu Reeves is really good at, I think people don't give him the credit because obviously a lot of the films he's been in, he does it, you're catching the hairs too, I know.
There we go.
But he does have that really good subtle facial movement, which in films a lot of times, you get people that maybe don't understand the acting and if you put them in that and they're like, okay, I gotta do a lot.
It's a lot of
And
eyebrows. Ooh,
it's
like,
just those subtle
why is your
movements
face
he's really
dancing?
good at.
I love him in
Yeah.
so many movies. God, I can't stand him in Dracula. Him or Winona Ryder.
Yeah.
I like Keanu.
Oh my God, awful casting choices for that.
And who
I liked
is
it.
Dracula? Isn't that?
That was
Gold-
Gary Oldman.
Yeah,
Gary
it's
Oldman.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and
He's
Anthony,
so good though.
and
I
Anthony
know.
Hopkins
I
was Van Helsing. So
know.
those two.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what makes it a movie that I've watched over
The
and over
tone
again.
of that movie is so. I
And
like
it's Clive
that.
Barker.
And if
I
you-
love Clive Barker. So,
Dracula?
yeah,
See, we
Bram
keep going to
Stoker's.
another film.
Francis Ford Coppola did that.
I thought it was Clive Barker.
Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh,
And I think one of his mistakes, because he's a director who all his best movies were filmed on locations, and Dracula was his first movie that he filmed all inside sound stages. And I think you can tell by the feel of the film. I think it takes
That
away
makes
from
sense.
it.
But yeah, I think with The Matrix though, the one thing that I remember reading something in college. Just we've been talking about the visuals, but the storyline itself, and then, the characters and their names, like Neo and the backwards, like the One, and stuff like
Yeah.
Trinity and Morpheus and things like that. I remember I think I read like some kind of blog or article in college that was like, 50 pages of like the religious,
implications.
Yeah, and
Oh,
all those
yeah.
things. And you obviously you're just like, oh, it's just so fun because like I always look at it's almost like a poem where if you have like a writer or something that they're writing in the moment, they're probably not thinking of it, but just because of the way it's writing out, there's all these deeper meanings that can be taken, and you get the people that like study, they're like, oh, I think they were trying to go like this, and then you talk to them, they're like, I had no clue.
Yeah, they're like,
that.
yeah, I guess. I
The,
don't know.
the movie that we saw, The Matrix, was after 14 rewrites that the Wachowskis did.
No, not just one, right? No.
No, yeah. They wrote the movie Assassins.
Okay.
With Antonio Banderas and Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Okay, after making that, they brought The Matrix to Joel Silver. And we're like, we want to make this. And he said, yeah, I'd love to direct this. And they said, no, screw you. We want to direct it. And he said, well, you can't direct it without having something under your belt. Go make a movie, and then we'll talk. So they went and made Bound, which, great film.
Yeah, I didn't know this. Okay.
Yeah. And so after making Bound, that gave them the clout to be able to go and make The Matrix.
And make some of them like V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta is an amazing movie too.
And Speed Racer too, like.
Speed Racer.
But it's fun to see like they're dark because like with V for Vendetta and like their lighting and stuff, it's a little bit darker, grittier, like natural. And then you get Speed Racer, which is
cartoony.
Like, yeah. But I think they did a good job for the cartoon.
It was just okay for me. I liked it more than the other two Matrix movies.
Matrix. I mean, the first one, obviously.
Oh, the first one was just groundbreaking. They should have just left it there.
Where are you going to go from there, really? Though.
Yeah.
I mean, you could try. You can. I think they did. I'm not really a huge fan of the other ones either, comparatively to the first one.
They had moments.
Yeah, but it's sort of like the whole. I remember the first, like the red pill, blue pill. Like everything here is not real. You're in a tube and you're dreaming.
Yeah.
I remember like the first time. So I mean, where are you going to go from there?
Did you notice in The Matrix that everything that was filmed in the Matrix world had a green tint to it?
Yes.
Which is
I noticed that right away.
Pretty awesome little effect to separate the coloring of the Matrix world from the real world and stuff, which I just really love that too.
We might be in the Matrix right now talking about the Matrix.
There's
Doesn't
a bit
it
of a green hue.
Yeah. I'm like, I know I got my glasses on, but is it just me?
There's probably a good chance of it. Some other little tidbits, my notes. Because we're almost done. We're about to wrap up. Something I find interesting, because I love actors who will do everything that they can to finish a role. Trinity, the girl who played Trinity, Catherine Ann Moss, twisted her ankle in the first scene.
Oh.
The very first scene.
The one where she jumped through a window?
Yeah. And did not tell, because she was afraid that if she talked about it, that they would recast her. So she kept her mouth shut and did that whole movie on a bad ankle.
It was her like kind of big role. That's
Yeah.
what got her. Yeah.
She was in. Was it Memento? Was just close to that time period, wasn't it, or just right after?
It was just after.
Yeah,
that's right.
I mean, that was her, and I read that when she was reading the script, she was like, "How are they going to make this movie?" Until she actually met with the Wachowski brothers, and she said like the first 10 minutes with them was so intoxicating that she was like, "Yeah, I want to do this.
She had done
I don't know
TV
how you're going to do it, but I want to do it."
She had done TV before. Ironically, a short-lived show in the early '90s called The Matrix. Completely not about the same thing. It's just coincidence that they were both called The Matrix. But yeah, I read that when she did The Matrix, that was the first time she saw herself in the big screen. She went to see a rough edit of it, and that was the first time she saw herself.
And she's probably like,
how crazy is that? Like the first time you see yourself, it's in this movie that has all these like kind of new techniques, like filming techniques and CGI, and that's awesome. As an actress, that's like awesome to think about.
I would be,
you know,
I would be like Hitchcock. I'd be standing at the door and like peeking in, like.
Do you want one of these?
Oh
God.
Yeah, you see, I can't. I mean, I edit, a lot of times I edit my own stuff, so I watch my own films, and when it comes down to showing it to people, I have to leave the room.
I do too.
Because
you see all their flaws.
I don't watch the movie. I'm acting like a creep. And I'm watching the person watching my movie. You know,
like this.
Why didn't they laugh at that part? You know, how come they didn't jump?
I think most of it. I do the same thing because you're reacting to see, okay, next time I make something, it's pacing because the editing.
Pacing, it's like music.
That's the one thing with Lyrium that I was like, I feel like after I got it locked, I was like, okay, pacing, but yeah.
Well, I guess the notes for The Matrix is it's definitely a positive thing for all four of us.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's all agreement that if you haven't seen The Matrix, you should go see it. And if you have seen the 2 sequels, you should probably try to erase it off your mind.
Yeah, just
I like to pretend they didn't happen, kind of like Highlander 2, the other 3 Star Wars movies. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I hope when you guys have more projects that you'll please come on again.
Oh, I'd love to
Yes.
come back.
Yeah, definitely.
We're going to keep
Join
working.
Joanna and I for our little outro moment, and we'll say goodbye and see you again next week. Outros.
outros. Chalk up another great show. Thank you, Greg and Nathan, for coming and being a part of the show.
Join us next week when Joanna and I will try to outrun running rabid wolverines.
We can't outrun Wolverines.
Hey, don't have to outrun them, just you.
You're all heart, Bill, and horribly out of shape. So with the Matrix, would you have taken the red pill or the blue one?
I don't know. I have learned in life that sometimes not knowing is better. Ignorance is definitely bliss. So I might have taken the blue pill. But what happens if you take both?
People probably end up like you.
You got a hell of a point there. That is a scary thought. Well, we will have to see next time on Film Speak.
Check us out on TalkFilmsMe, Facebook.com. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
All right, mic off. Was that good? Should we
That
do it
was
again?
good. I'm happy. I will love it.
Hi, Future Bill. Hi, Future Bill.